this crisis that we are currently in is more than just a public health crisis. It's an economic crisis. We know that debt is piling up for renters and mortgage holders, despite not many having a steady income for foreseeable future. There's a lot of conversation about the $1,200 relief fund that people are getting, but we know that doesn't even cover rent for many people, let alone allow them to have meals or pay any of their other costs. Mass displacement, home foreclosures, and the shutting off of businesses are imminent unless aggressive measures are taken immediately. Families will lose their homes and the housing market will suffer irreparable damage. Already calls for rent strike, as Tara said, are echoing across this nation as tenants withhold payment indefinitely. We're lucky here in Minnesota to have an eviction moratorium, but that doesn't really exist across the country, and that's something that needs to be instituted. We're also starting to have conversations here in Minnesota, and we hope that people will across the country of what happens as soon as the national emergency declaration or state emergency declarations end. Will people be evicted the next day? How can we put protections in place? The federal government has a responsibility to act now to prevent a total collapse of the national housing market, which is why I'm excited to introduce this bill tomorrow that will institute a national moratorium on rent and home mortgage payments to last through the duration of this pandemic. Under my legislation, payments on all rental homes will be canceled, and landlords will be able to have the opportunity to apply for their losses as they will be covered by the federal government through a rental property relief fund to be administered by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. Additionally, all home mortgages will be able to have their payments suspended, with mortgage holders being eligible to apply for a similar HUD-operated home lenders relief fund. And this bill, as Tara said, is one that is the brainchild of many of you who are on the ground, who have your ears with activists and organizers, and we're just delighted to be able to have the opportunity to do this with you. Additionally, all home mortgage payments will be suspended under our legislation, with mortgage holders being eligible to apply for a similarly HUD-operated home lenders relief fund. But the housing crisis, as you all know, didn't begin with the coronavirus crisis. It existed before. Across the nation, families were already struggling with homelessness and housing insecurity. Last year, the National Low-Income Housing Coalition found no state or major metropolitan area in the entire nation has an adequate supply of rental housing for its poorest renters. And as a result, 12 million renters are severely housing cost burden, spending more than half of their income on housing. That includes many of us, myself, a lot of my staff. This is why this issue is quite personal for us.